They are the parents. Parenting does not mean just guiding the children on the general values, but they must instill in them our the bhakti or the dedication to our land, to our Madhur our precious Bharat.
The kind of help parents can give requires mindfulness in the sense of being attentive to the child, understanding the child, and being responsive to the child's needs, because ultimately the child's happiness should be all that matters to us as parents.
The spacecraft came out of the womb of the rocket, and I felt always like that. The mother takes it to the space, it delivers it there for a greater journey beyond that point. I think that symbolizes the roles of a parent and the journey of a child.
If we need to make quantum leaps in social progress, we need to invest in the youngest of children.
To be a mindful parent, or to walk the path of mindful parenting, I think we as parents need to regulate our emotions. We need to be very strong. We need to be like a role model for the children, because they keep looking at us, they keep watching us, they keep picking up a word or thought of what we express.
Mindful parenting is the effort to bring awareness, attention, and curiosity to your interactions with your children.
There's a beautiful saying that it takes a village to raise a child. We think it takes a special village to raise a special needs child. And we've been very fortunate. I must confess that both me and Dipali have been incredibly fortunate to have a great support system. Without a support system, we wouldn't be where we are.
It's a beautiful initiative, mindful parenting. I think it's such a need of an hour because there's so much of confusion. There's so much of content. There are certain cultures that try to impress upon us, put parents into a box, put children into a box, that you should co-sleep for this amount of years, you should do this, you should do that, failing to understand the individuality of a child, the uniqueness of a child, that every child is different, every child may need, different emotions from a parent at a particular time.
Very nice.
Ma, we welcome our audience. We greet you all very, very warmly. I truly believe, and this is a thought that's always been very close to my heart, I think the greatest thing we all do is within the four walls of our home. Our greatest contribution is within the four walls of our home. That's the foundation. Our home is our foundation. Welcome you all again as parents. So we're going to be discussing what are ups and downs of parenting, of the parenting journey. And let's do this together. Mummy, would you like to say a few words and then we'll start our discussion?
Thank you, Mansi, for joining.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your podcast and your book is impacting millions, and rightfully.
Thank you.
We are here to learn from you today. Parents are eagerly waiting to listen to you. And you also have parents on the show. You also have Lifology on the show. So go ahead, please share with us all that you can share. It's a great opportunity for all of us.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone, for being here. More often than not, we kind of believe that when somebody else validates what we do, what we say, it kind of feels better. But when it comes from somebody like Dr. Kiran Bedi, it just feels it feels like a better form of validation. I don't know why, but thank you for having me, and I'm so grateful for you to create something like this, Saina and Dr. Bedi, because I really feel we give such little importance to raising humans. And that was one of the biggest reasons why I started this platform called Kids Talk Press. I was on a fine career path, extremely ambitious, doing extremely well for myself, until I had my first child, and I realized that Indians raise their children very, very differently. We don't want to leave our roots, yet we want to be backed by knowledge. We are that generation, those millennials who want to be empowered with information and make informed choices. And that's the reason that, there's this constant khichdi that was happening in my head when I had my first child 15 years ago, which was my mom saying, feed your child dal ka pani, and Google saying feed applesauce. And like I said, we didn't want to move away or give up our roots, and we wanted to make informed choices, and that was one of the biggest reasons of why I started the platform. So every parent, no matter who they are, rich or poor, fair or dark, thin or fat, can make informed choices through every single parenting milestone. That was the clear vision why I started the platform. And it started about 10 years ago, 5 years after my first child was born. And I've seen the parenting landscape evolve from a time where I had to tell parents why they need to follow the platform, to today where we're talking of a concept like mindful parenting or conscious parenting. But I will share with you some of the things that I see very often today. And I've seen this through my book, through my podcast, through many interviews of experts, doctors, and authors that I have managed to speak to. And of course, most importantly, children, who are extremely important to this ecosystem. To start off, I must say that I'm so glad that we have a platform like this today to talk about this, because हम सब चीजों के लिए awards देते हैं. हम best actor actress के लिए देते हैं, best creator के लिए देते हैं, best hotels के लिए देते हैं, best best खाने के लिए देते हैं. हम कितना कम importance उस चीज को देते हैं where we are raising the next generation. And I find that so alarming, that we want to fix and help our youth today without fixing, or without actually not using the word fixing, but actually empowering our children to be better human beings. Mental health doesn't start in your 20s. It actually starts a lot in your childhood, right? Each one of us grappling with multiple issues that we're facing today is actually something that's born out of childhood, an inner child syndrome or a childhood trauma that we are all manifesting in our adulthood. So therefore speaking the one of the biggest roles that any human can play in their life is to be that of a parent. And talking about mindful parenting, or I would say even conscious parenting, is the very fact that today's parents, we want to fix our children. We want to follow a style where we believe that our children are not equal to us. Like when I meet parents, they said, my child is indisciplined. My child is a picky eater. My child does not sleep on time. My child throws a tantrum. My child does not know how to behave socially. My child comes last in class. My child does not love me. Everything is about my child. The onus, the responsibility of being perfect has suddenly moved from the parent to the child. And that child is all of sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 5, sometimes 10. They did not make a choice to come into this world. It was our choice to bring them into this world. So I find this very, very alarming. And in mindful parenting or conscious parenting, is very important that the minute we start treating children as equal to parents and we stop believing that we need to fix somebody, it makes a world of a difference, because then you're giving them equal respect and equal love. Some of the things that I often find that parents and children today, and let me start with the children, and why mindful parenting is the need of the hour, is children today are feeling that their parents don't have time for themselves. Parents don't feel they have time to listen to the children. Recently, like I was telling you, Saina, I was in school. I've been doing a lot of school trips because of my book and listening to a lot of children. And when we are talking of, meeting these children and asking them to write us anonymous questions that they're grappling with, they're coming up with these questions. My parents don't have time for me. My parents think that because I'm not good in math and science, I'm a duffer. I don't want to do the IAS or the UPSC exams, or any or the NEET or the JETs and whatever. But I am forced because that's the career path my parents have chosen. I feel suffocated. Please save me. I have no other way to vent out, so I am. I've been masturbating for 7 or 8 times a day because I don't know how to release that sort of energy. These are children in 7th grade or 8th grade. Children are saying that I want to end my life because I feel my parents cannot seem to understand what I am saying. And of course, feeling socially compared at all points in time. This is what the children have to say. What the parents have to say is something that I've already shared with you. My child is not good enough. He's not coming first in class. He has all of these other issues. Now, why are both of these sides extremely important? Because somewhere our aspiration of who we are as individuals is manifesting through our children. And when I ask these parents that what some of the parents' biggest struggles, my child is too shy, because we're already putting that child into a label, and we are trying to put labels on our children so easily and effortlessly without realizing that these labels take a long long time to come out. एक सॉस का बॉटल होता है, उस पे हम एज इंडियंस हम लोग फिर उसको गर्म पानी में डालते हैं, फिर लेबल उखाड़ने की कोशिश करते हैं, फिर नाखून से स्क्रैप करते हैं, तब भी वो 2-3 टाइम के बाद वो निकलता है. This is still a child, and we keep saying, okay, he's too shy, he doesn't open up. But the parent does not realize that either the parent has always been very shy and the parent wants the child to be a super confident, super outgoing person, because the parent could never do it. So I'm manifesting that through my child. Or the second, the parent is overtly, an extrovert, very confident speaker, and the child finds it very hard to keep pace or be compared to the parent. There are always these 2 or 3 scenarios that exist. In both cases, the child is always going into a shell because he cannot keep pace or he doesn't want that label. And parents are always chasing perfection, right? They're always chasing what does it take, because our definitions of success for our children have shifted, significantly. There's been a paradigm shift in the way we see success today. And I won't lie, I was one amongst those parents who thought, what does it really take to raise a successful child? till I went on to my own journey, and I figured out that really, for me, the definition of success has just kept evolving over the last 10 years in my journey to be a better parent and empower more parents, is to know that success is so, um, success is a very frivolous word. It's really about being impactful in the domain that you choose to be. Success is not materialistic. Success is about impact, and that's what it means for me. And that actually gave birth to this book that I've written, which is called The Parents I Met, because I really wanted to know that what did parents of each of these outliers do? And I call them outliers is because for me, the biggest measure of anything is apne, what impact have you led? And I had the privilege of asking Pulela Gopichand once, our national badminton coach, so what does success mean to you? And he said, Mansi, the only definition of success for me is how many lives I have touched. And that got me to be a different person. And I think it was one of the stepping stones for starting to write this book. And I realized, and a common thread in part of this book is that each of the parents gave their children time, they heard their children, they were there for their children, the hours didn't match. We blame ourselves as I am a working parent, I am a strict parent. हम अपने बच्चों पे भी labels लगाते हैं, हम अपने आप पे भी labels लगाते हैं. We are so used to putting things into brackets and compartments that anything that asks us to break away from those, we get confused. We're like, ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता है, right? And that's one of the reasons I wanted to write this book, that it really doesn't take anything to raise an outlier. What it takes is only time, love, and patience. And that was one of the biggest biggest reasons for me to write the book. And the most important quality is grit. I think one thing that each of these parents instilled in their kids was grit. And also for me to understand no two children will be the same. We have PV Sindhu's story, where both the girls were exposed to same amount of rigorous training every morning, 4 a.m. badminton coaching. One chose to drop out, though she was more skilled. One chose to stay in the game, and today is an Olympian and a national champion, right? So the myth of does only scarcity create success or impact, or even abundance creates hunger for things. So each of these stories were handpicked to see why, to bust some sort of myth. But the biggest underlying reason for me to write this book is to say that who we are in our adulthood is sown in our childhood. जिस चीजों के साथ आप खेलते हैं, जो डिसिप्लिन है, जो ग्रिट है, जो फैमिली वैल्यूज है, जो रोल मॉडल्स आप चुनते हैं, वो कहीं ना कहीं आपके बचपन में इतने intrinsically मिले हुए हैं that it's very hard to move away from that. And while your role models are from your childhood, your scars are also from your childhood. So therefore, coming back to this session on mindful parenting, because if we are not conscious of ourselves as individuals, as parents, as humans, how are we going to raise another conscious, mindful human being? Parenting is a role. The idea is to be more conscious. And Saina, when you started out with saying that you are the role model in the house, we had Hartirat Singh, who runs the Hemkund Foundation. His father, Irinder Singh, actually said, Mansi, you are the Shah Rukh Khan to your child. He said, your child doesn't need a role model. You are the Shah Rukh Khan, and he's watching or she's watching you day in, day out. So you better play that part really well. And he said a very interesting another thing. He said, हम समझते हैं कि हम अपने बच्चों को बेस्ट स्कूल में भेजेंगे, बेस्ट कॉलेज में भेजेंगे, बेस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी में भेजेंगे, पर वो 4 घंटे जो वो स्कूल के बाद और सोने से पहले घर में बिताते हैं, those 4 hours are what is going to shape your child. And for me, I mean, still मैं जब ये बताती हूँ तो I get goosebumps thinking about it, that हम कितनी बड़ी जिम्मेदारी निभा रहे हैं, and we give such little credit to ourselves for this. So to every parent who's trying to be a good parent, you're, first of all, you are the best parent that your child can ever have. Never doubt that. Yes, as parents, we have moments of unconsciousness. Yes, as parents, we have moments where ego precedes the the responsibility or the love. And I'm not saying that I never get angry. I'm not saying that I am the most selfless parent. It is just in that fraction of a moment where ego precedes love, ego precedes responsibility, ego precedes consciousness or mindfulness. And that's the moment we need to keep minimizing that distance. We need to keep minimizing the distance between reaction from a situation and converting that word react to respond. The minute we make those switches, like make an equal to or a love sign here that keeps reminding you that I need to react less and I need to respond better, it will just make like a world of a difference.
Ji, I'll ask you a little question and then we'll go to Zefa and Abra. जो भी आपने बोला है, parenting जो भी आप बोल रहे हैं, वो तब होगा when parenting is a great need and want.
Yes.
What we say and what we do has to match.
Yes.
ये हमारी जरूरत होनी चाहिए that our child should feel loved, secure, safe, and we should create an environment, make sure no matter what, the child gets an opportunity to blossom, but with a feeling of gratitude.
Yes.
The child also needs to get a feeling of gratitude. But ये जरूरत हमारी होनी चाहिए. जब ये हमारी जरूरत ही नहीं होगी, तो हम उसको ट्रांसलेट कैसे करेंगे into actions and feeling, because this is also a vibration. Yes. Children also pick up the vibration that you have inside you as a parent. They know. Right. They know. Absolutely. So, Ji.
And you're absolutely right, Saina, jab aap ye bolti hain that children pick up on your anxiety, they pick up on your vibrations. But again, I keep saying this, that I get so many parents who write into me and say, I've hit my child, he does not listen. So much so that today he was bleeding or he has a bruise. And I keep saying, and then that parent wants to end their life, wants to end the child's life. And I keep saying this, and I think it's very important for every parent to feel that validation that you are a good parent. It's that moment. और ऐसा कोई काम नहीं है that, और ऐसी कोई situation नहीं है where someone cannot help you. But you need to address and acknowledge. Right now, when I tell people that, I don't want to meet your child because I believe that your child does not need to be fixed. Why don't you want to speak to me or attend any of the courses that we do or follow our social pages or any? They believe they don't need any intervention. They believe I am perfect. They believe that they are not the ones to be fixed. And Saina, that mindset needs to be shifted. वो shift lana, just this morning there was some WhatsApp messages on one of the parenting groups, and they said we don't have enough parenting courses that teach us mindful parenting. I said the problem is that nobody looks for parenting courses. They look for only children's courses of how to discipline my child, how to make a spoiled child perfect. Nobody wants to say, how can I be a better parent? Why are we not Googling that? Because we don't feel that we have a problem. So my point is that, and I keep saying this, that every time you feel that there is something wrong with your child, reflect back on yourself to see how were you in that situation? Why did you react in that situation? How could you have responded better in that situation? And is there a pattern? Like, I know parents, and I can say this, I get a standard thing. My teenager doesn't talk to me. Or, my child is extremely shy and vulnerable, shy and doesn't talk again. Now, when teenagers not talking, आपने जब 10 साल अपने बच्चे के साथ बात नहीं की है, you have not kept the channel of communication. Today, you want the child to come and talk to you. How is that going to happen? वो एक दिन में तो नहीं होगा ना. You can't start building the 70th floor without building the first 69 floors. But the point is, it's okay. You started on day 10 saying, okay, I want to build that connection and communication with my child. Be prepared for the backlash. Be prepared that they don't want to talk to you, because you are entering their life now. You did not enter for 10 years. So my point would be that parents need to be conscious that they, again, what you want is a perfect child. You want a child who will say yes. You want a child who will come back and tell you, Mummy, at school mein ye hua tha. Mummy, I need you in my life. Mummy, I want you to talk to me. This is ideal case scenario. We're not talking of a Karan Johar film, but that's what the parents want. They want an idealistic movie character jahan main ye superstar mother hu, the others are like this, we will look like this, we will stay in this palace, my child will go to Harvard University, and then life will follow. We have planned our children's life, future, our ideal parenting scenario, hamare ghar ki situation, everything to the T. And then we're comparing, and the conflict happens when reality hits fiction. That's where the conflict happens, because the two are not matching. You thought parenting was this, but actually parenting is this. So to answer your question, parents are not looking to correct themselves. They don't believe they need intervention.
Yes. I have a question, but I'll get back to you. It's about teenagers. But Huzaifa, please come in, share your thoughts, and Avra, please, and then we'll again continue. Ji.
Thank you, Saina ji. So, first of all, it's a pleasure being on this platform with such wonderful people. So, thank you for this opportunity. Wanted to share some thoughts about our parenting journey. So, we are parents of very young children, 9 and 7, both girls. Yeah, and for us, it has been a wonderful journey. It has been filled with fun, excitement. Also, it's been like a roller coaster ride with our own ups and downs. And we have learned a lot during this journey. We are still learning. And I would also like to say that I have been actively going through these sessions, plus also reading some books on mindful parenting. There is a book that is also written by Ajay Kumar on mindful parenting, Praveen and Ajay Kumar on mindful parenting. So when we reflect on what we have been doing, how we have been raising our children, and also when we kind of get an opportunity to look at these sessions, listen to the sessions, we correct our mistakes. And Mansi, as you rightly said, when we don't listen to our children when they are young, we cannot expect them to listen to us when they grow old. Something that resonates very deeply. And also Arwa and me both are working parents. So what we are trying to do is we always try to give time to our children. We share our responsibilities. We make sure that both of them get we spend quality time with them. So and we compensate. For example, if I am not around, Arwa is around to take care of the children. When she is not around, I kind of spend quality time, listen to them. And yes, we are still learning, as I said, but we have noticed that when we spend time with them, when we listen to them, I mean, that is something that they also are expecting from us, though they don't say. They might not say. If they are happy with their digital devices, if you don't speak to them, they are happy. They'll play with the digital devices, or they'll be in a room, we don't know what they're doing. But when you kind of spend time with them, that is when we realize and learn from them as well, because they also give us feedback sometimes. Yeah, so it's I mean, so
it's not been a fairy tale ride all throughout. First of all, again, thank you so much, everybody, for the opportunity. It's a wonderful platform, mindful parenting, and so happy to share the platform with Ma'am Kiran Bedi. Absolute pleasure to be here. And Mansi, it was a very inspiring talk that you mentioned. I personally took a lot of points from what you discussed earlier. And like Huzaifa mentioned, we are parents of 2 young daughters, aged 9 and 7. And it has been fruitful, fulfilling journey, but it has had its own challenges. We've had lots of ups and downs with the children. And one thing, Mansi, that you mentioned which resonated with me is about how when your child is shy, and when you're trying to instill confidence in them, and why are they not talking, or what is it that is keeping them to not interact with people outside. Maybe in the house they are monsters and they're running around like monkeys, but when they're outside they have that coy and shy nature. I think that is something that I have understood, that both the children need to develop certain things, and we both have taken a lot of effort towards that as well. I could give you one example of my younger daughter, Husaina. She started schooling quite early. At 2.9 years, she was already in her KG, and everything was fine. And she was studying, and the only answer that I would get from her when she would come back home is, "How was your day, darling?" "Had fun." That's about it. I mean, she would not want to say anything about her studies or any such thing. And then eventually, when she moved on to year 1, at that time we found out that her progress with speaking or phonics, blending words, and writing was not up to the mark. And at that point, I think what benefited and what worked in our favor was that we interacted with the teacher. And sometimes we are under peer pressure. Even though she's a small child, she's just in year 1, it is still that, oh my god, what will happen if she's not able to move to year 2? I mean, maybe I should just push her to year 2 and she will develop later, and everything will be fine. But that one step that the teacher and us took was to make her repeat that year. And even though I discussed this with a lot of other parents as well, my friends, and they said, no, why would you want to? Khalas, I mean, let her just study. Let her go to year 2. She's still young. But repeating that year 1, and then we noticed a tremendous change in Husaina. She's benefited so much. I think what is important in schooling is the foundation. And if the foundation, the base itself is not solid, then how will the child kind of take on the other higher studies, etc., whatever. And even though they are young and just year 1, I think it really benefited her. Her foundation is fundamentals and foundation of year 1, her phonics, everything has increased tremendously, and she's confident now. The way she interacts with other people itself shows us that she's improved a lot. So yeah, I mean, that is one thing that about my younger one that I wanted to share over here.
Brilliant. Saina, you couldn't have got more appropriate parents. I mean, they are really the best role models. How many parents have the courage to, one, acknowledge it to themselves, then discuss it with the teacher, face the society? Because hamare desh mein, unfortunately, everybody has an opinion on everything but themselves. So to take the decision so consciously for your child, because children want that confidence, and you gave your child that confidence to flourish, right? So hats off to you. Well, really, really amazing.
Thank you for that, Mansi. Really means a lot. Thanks.
जी. Mansi, आपने बात करी about teenage parents.
Yes.
Talk to their children. वो teenage parents की बातें सुनने के लिए ना दिल चाहिए.
100%.
The kind of आजकल के जो teenagers, what they're going through. If you hear it, a conventional parent will pass out.
Yeah.
You will have to splash water on them. Get up. दिल चाहिए सुनने के लिए. And then you don't judge your child.
Yeah.
And then the roof doesn't come down.
Yes.
The world has not come to an end. कल क्या होगा, पूरी जिंदगी क्या होगा, अब क्या होगा, that crisis has not happened. Your child is going through a normal phase of life. The times have changed. What a beautiful feeling if a teenager can say, if I can talk to anybody in this world, it's my mom or dad. And they will stand by me, guide me, protect me, show me the way. And what a wonderful feeling if your child is willing to listen to you. because you're speaking their heart, you're speaking their language. Haven't we all gone through that age? So if you want your child to talk to you, then you must have the heart to listen and not tell the entire world about what your child has come and, told you. So where does this come in?
So, you said this so beautifully, Saina, which is we need a heart to listen. And why do we need that heart to listen? क्योंकि हमारा area of comfort है ये, ठीक है, हम इसी चीज में बड़े हुए हैं. हमें ये चैट जीपीटी क्या है, उनके लिरिक्स क्या है, उनके कपड़े क्या है, उनको कहाँ जाना है, क्या खाना है, it's all very alien to us. Why? Because we don't understand it. Is it the new normal? Yes. The way I address this, and again, I keep saying this, that every family should have their core values. Okay? And the child should not, you should have a core set of values, and you should have a negotiable set of things which are okay to let. A very important thing that my pediatrician told me when my kids were, I think, 4 or 5 or something. He's like, Mansi, pick and choose your battles. Har jang aap nahi jeet paoge. And abhi tak, that has stayed with me. And I'll tell you why. Now, my core, and I say define this core set of values for your family. In our household, the core set of values is discipline, is respect for everybody, for every human or everything that has life, have respect for that. And, and have the grit. Like try it, try. You don't get it, you don't get an A star, it's not, that is absolutely okay. Tell me you worked 100 problems and you didn't get an A star, I'm absolutely okay. You didn't work those 100 problems and then you got a C, I'm not okay with that. So that grit, that discipline, that respect for people, and honesty. These are my core set of values. Okay. Abhi iske if these are intact, okay, the rest of it will follow. What are we arguing on? We're arguing on clothes. We're arguing on room not being clean. We're arguing on the lyrics of your song. We're arguing on indiscipline. We're arguing on you don't talk to people. Right? Now, I can give you an example. I recently went to Singapore, because my children love this artist who's, in my opinion, a great magician and a marketeer called Taylor Swift. उन्होंने कुछ 30 गाने गाए. I knew 3 songs. They were very, very, very difficult for me to even learn. I tried. Okay, I tried learning breakfast, lunch, dinner. मैं सिर्फ Taylor Swift के गाने सुन रही हूँ because I want to let my children know I'm with you. Okay, if you can listen to an Arijit Singh with me, I will listen to Taylor Swift with you. Right? So my point is, but I made that attempt. I did not say that just because you like Taylor Swift that is wrong. It is not wrong. I don't follow it. If there are certain set of clothes that you are disagreeing on, explain to them why. Right? Is this what you want yourself to be all about? Is this what you want to be known for? Is this what will get you unwanted attention which you do not want at this point in time? Right? Is this appropriate for the occasion? And trust me, our children are so smart, they're so intuitive. आप उनको instructions दे रहे हैं, आप उनको why नहीं बता रहे हैं. Why? Because you don't have the time for it. You just said you cannot wear this. But why? If your child is not asking you, but why, there is a problem. Because you want a puppet, you don't want a child. You don't want to raise a human. You want to be in this autocratic world where it's my way or the highway. That's not going to work in any relationship. Try that with your spouse and see what happens. That's not going to work. Just because you think children are younger and you have a little few more years of experience, it will work. It will not. But to answer your question, when was the last time you sat down with your teenager without any agenda? We're like a long list of to-do things, right? With our teens. Homework kiya, class mein kya marks hai, class ke liye gaye, ye kiya, wo kiya. Have you washed your have you washed your face? Have you brushed your teeth? We're a long list of to-do things. We're not as entertaining. And the biggest thing is we're not ready to let go of. There will be 2 times, okay, when your child is roughly about 2 years and roughly about 10 or 11 years, when they will be the meanest and the harshest to you. And the reason for that is they're fighting for their independence. Jab 2 saal ke hain, they're fighting for physical independence. They don't need those. They want to now explore. They can walk on their own. They can touch on their own. They can feel on their own. They can change on their own. They're fighting with the person, and माँ के साथ सबसे ज़्यादा इसलिए conflict होता है because they're most dependent on the mother or whoever the primary caretaker is, but that primary caretaker will see maximum conflict. Another time when you will face this, where you will feel that I don't understand parenting, is when your child is hitting puberty, which is roughly around 10, 11, or 12. Again, they're fighting for physical, emotional, rational independence. So that's the time you will see conflict. But the idea is to understand that they are not wrong. And are you explaining your why to them? 2 points of, and are you breaking their trust, Saina? बहुत जरूरी है.
The trust word is very important, but your teenagers and your children need to trust you also. That my mommy and my daddy want best for me. And in their language, they are very cool. Yeah. They understand. They know what the world is. They're there. You must engage with them in their vocabulary. And then when you say, nahi, acha nahi lag raha, acha lag raha, just sit and listen. Yeah. Cover yourself. This is not the world, this is not right. They listen. Yeah. But they must relate to you. Yeah. They must have that bond of trust with you. For banana hai.
And another point where you mentioned here, most parents ask me, should I be a parent to my child or should I be a friend to my child? 99% of the parents try to be friends to their children. Right? And I've heard many views on it. I've heard people say, I'm not a friend, I'm not a parent, I'm a friendly parent. I've heard Pooja Dhingra's mom in the book, she says, I want to be a parent because my child has many friends, but she has only one parent. Mm-hmm. And a parent is who you come back to, not for saying that I am good or I am bad or I am right or I'm wrong. You come back to a parent because that parent is a mirror. वो आपको सिर्फ सच ही बताएगा. It is like literally that, I think in Sleeping Beauty, you had that mirror, right? Where the witch wanted to eat that apple because the mirror told her you are not the fairest of them all anymore, right? And that parent is that mirror. They know you better than you know yourself. So it's very important to know that you will be that parent. Yes, you can be a cool enough parent, but you're still the parent.
Yes. Rahulji, please share your thoughts and then we'll ask.
Thank you very much, Saina ji. Thank you very much, Madam. Great session. I think this is my 4th or 5th session with Kiran Bedi Madam and Saina. And I'm very happy to see my good friends, Josefa and Arwa. They mentioned about Hussaina. There is one more person, Munira. So two kids I have seen with my own eyes, a great parenting, a live demonstration of great parenting in their home. What I wanted to say is that how Josefa plays a role. Maybe Harva will also appreciate the same thing, but she herself told me about how Josefa is really a great support to Arwa, and with the word which he said to me, which is still in my mind. I have a great memory on certain aspects. He said, I'm trying to reduce I'm trying my level best to reduce the effort which she's doing. So great words. Anyhow, is it true, Arwa? You'll also appreciate the same thing, right? He told me about the same.
Of course. I think it's all about, balancing it out. Both the parents need to equally contribute towards parenting. So completely agree with you.
Yeah, we are in a world, we are being adult, we are facing a lot of challenges and we are getting a lot of rejections. Ultimately, it's all emotional hurt. That just one word I want to bring in. And being children, how fast we can heal those things with the help of parents makes a lot of difference. Day before yesterday, I'm a father of a 12-year-old sweet boy. Mahadevan is his name. And day before yesterday, he called me and said he was crying in saying that he lost his new book, which worth 1,250, which is a novel. He lost it, and he was crying and crying repeatedly. That he forgot. I don't know the story, the long story. One thing I found that this is his mistake, or you can say he forgot to take from his particular place and he lost it. And I told him, don't worry, because it's okay, no problem. And I took almost 5 minutes to calm him down. But I found some parents, see, the worth of that book is 1,250, but sometimes some parents I've seen, I don't want to bring any name particularly. So then in return, when the child says that this is the mistake that I have committed, and they give, the kind of hurt which they make thereafter, which cannot be healed even with 25 lakh rupee. So we should not be doing that. We should be, I don't want to use the word friend or friendly like that. So see, there are multiple kinds of personality styles and parenting styles, authoritative, authoritarian, democratic. So all these things are explained in the Mindful Parenting book written by Ajay Kumar. One thing I always make sure that I should be a great hope to him. Even if something happens to him, definitely he should be able to speak to me without any fear. I told him, whether hell is falling, don't worry, just come to me and talk to me. And that hope I have given him. And so far, well, I believe I'm a good father in that aspect. And when you rate yourself, I believe that I'm 9 out of 10. Yes, I am growing on that.
Wonderful. You are a good father. God bless you. God bless you. Mommy, you've been.
Thank you, Mansi. I hope what you said is heard more and more, and I'm sure through your channel it will be. Please play it again and again, because you said it for a very larger good. I would say address unique challenges which are faced because our work in the world, I do not know whether humanities, workplaces are looking at compatibility with good parenting. I think they are at odds, and they're forcing the parents not to be what you are suggesting to be or wanting to be, because I don't see compatibility with working hours and working pressures and working stress with the corporate world or services are leaving them with. Though they want to do what you want to be done, the current humanity at workplaces are not factoring in the need of parenting. I think that's another area which needs to be addressed, because if both of us are coming exhausted, Hufeza and Arwa, let's say that, coming back tired, stressed out, exhausted, and don't have the energy, not that they don't want to, but don't have the energy left. Don't have the energy left to listen. So how do you handle that? Where do you get the time? Because you are, in the end, it's only 24 hours. I think that's a real challenge today, because families, earlier things were easier. You had the mother at home. She was not out of home. Now the mother is also out of home. And she's also coming back exhausted and tired. And she's also coming with her own stresses and strain, and even maybe thoughts which she may have to reflect or he may have to reflect. And they want to think over. And they need time to reflect too. So is the world, the working world outside, examining the need for compatibility with both the parents at work? That's a challenge, Mansi.
Absolutely, Dr. Bedi. I keep saying this, that people expect parents to work like they don't parent, and they expect us to parent like we don't work. So to exactly say and sum up what you said, I completely agree. Organizations, services, corporates, the government all need to factor in all of this and make it a space. And these are the challenges that we're trying very hard to address. And of course, we'll keep addressing this with support from everyone, of course. Thank you.
So, Mansi, while you may be going to schools, you see, the ball is in the court also of the employer,
Yes.
because the parents are providers for their children,
Yes.
and the work is a provider.
Yeah.
But that leaves them no time, energy to work. So, are you working with the employers as well? We need to work with the employers. So, you are at least make sure one parent goes home, one
Yes.
parent is at home. Or are we working with grandparents now? Because grandparents may turn around to say, we are not babysitters anymore. We've sat you. You want us to be extended babysitters? Sorry, we have our life of our own. And we also have now grandmothers who are also at work.
Yes.
See, they're retiring at 60 with great age on their side. So they are also at work. Would they also do babysitting? Or they are not staying with their children anymore. Children means their
Yeah, we're
sons
seeing
and
a very
daughters.
large rise in nuclear family
So
setups.
the question is not only of parents versus children, it's also about the support systems around. Support system includes workplaces, and
Yes.
support system includes grandparents.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Also, we can't feed into a culture that does not support loyalty, respect, love, because parenting comes from marriage. And marriage has to be very, very strong. The marriage has to be one for parenting, the real parenting to happen. You can't be talking one thing to your father and one thing to your mother. When two people get married, it's a very, very strong question, but it's a reality because I'm talking to kids. When two people get married, where is the resolve that a healthy family will come from us? We are carrying a lot of generational baggage also, ancestral blessings and baggage. A resolve that a healthy family will come from us. And as a society, are we really well wishers? Are we wishing young couples well? Are we wishing homes well? Mansi, please sense what I'm saying. It's a thought, it's not a question. क्या हम एक पति पत्नी को देखकर खुश हैं? क्या हम एक परिवार जो अपने बच्चे के साथ खुशी से रह रहा है, क्या हम खुश हैं कि हम टोका टाकी करते हैं? ये कैसे खुश हैं? नहीं बन रही तो अलग हो जाओ, ये नहीं हो रहा तो ये कर लो, ये नहीं हो रहा तो दूसरा रास्ता अपना लो. काम वाले लोग नहीं, काम पहले, परिवार बाद में देख लेना. We are also feeding into a culture that does not honor now loyalty and love and respect and home and family and marriage. Parenting is an extension of your marriage. It's how you feel as a wife, how you feel as a husband, how you feel with each other, and how you feel about yourself. It is emotional. It is emotional work. It's inner work.
Yes.
But it's beautiful, blessed inner work. It's not a burden, but it has to be a need and a want. Mansi, your thoughts, please.
No, I am completely with you when you say parenting has to start one individually, because if you are an unsatiated, unfulfilled human being, you will pass on and palm off those anxieties, that fear and all of that onto your child and onto all the relationships that you come across with, right? And earlier, your earliest memories will always create belief systems will create habits will create communication styles will create who we are in the world today. So therefore, coming back is, how were you as a child? What need went unfulfilled? Being aware of that need, and then of course coming back to this point of how am I reflecting that back with every relationship that I have, right? And yes, we are today When you spoke of when we are wishing well for other people, if we are comparing ourselves, we are not wishing well. If we are using that as motivation to work better, then that is using that effectively. But unfortunately, we're stuck in a comparison trap, and comparison is the thief of all joy. So if you're comparing, you are robbed. And if you are motivated with that comparison, where you are elevating it and you're taking it as as a role model or a goal to uplift you, then that is great. But yes, unfortunately, earlier you were compared with your Sharma ji ka beta in the next house. Today you are compared with 100,000 followers on Instagram. So yes, there is that sort of comparison, and your child feels that pressure too. And yes, loyalty is a very beautiful thing that you said, Saina, which is we have too many choices today. We have just way too many choices in our relationships, in our goals, in our materialistic goals, in our physical goals. We are just spoiled for choice, and that creates more confusion. And therefore, our ability to accept another with thou faults has become, that threshold is reduced so much. हमारा बच्चा ठीक नहीं है, like he's not meeting A star, let's fix him. My husband or wife is not meeting a particular standard, drop him. I don't like this job, my boss is not good, let me switch. So we are constantly in this mode of switch or drop or fix, right? We're constantly doing that because we have choices, without saying that how can I try to solve. We're doing treatments very symptomatically. Aaj sar dukh raha hai, let me take a headache medicine. Tomorrow my hand is aching, I'll take a painkiller. Tomorrow something else is aching, I'll fix that body part. But I'm not addressing the underlying condition of what is causing those chronic headaches again and again and again. And I think that's what you touched on, Saina, that if we're not conscious within ourselves, we're going to find flaws with every relationship that we have.
Yes. Any आप question कुछ पूछना चाहेंगे?
I would actually like to ask a question to Huzaifa and Arwa. I want to understand, and this is very selfishly to understand, what got you guys on this journey of mindfulness, and how did you guys decide that this is a path we need to take versus all the ups and downs that you've had with your children?
How do you like to?
What was that pivoting point? Because very few parents go down that path.
Sure. So thank you so much for the question, Mansi, first of all. Like Rahul mentioned, we also have an elder daughter, Munira. And so with her, the journey has been very smooth, if I may say. I mean, it's been, she's been one of the, toppers in class, if I may say. I mean, she's been doing well with studies and things like that. And then when, at a certain time, when Husaina also started schooling, etc., there was this point of comparison. It's a dangerous word, and it's nobody should compare to children. And I think at that point I realized that it's not going to be that easy like I always thought. It is difficult, and every child is different. Whether the parents are the same, the children are different, so
100%.
They have their own paths. And I think that's when I realized that the parenting will have to change. What I did or what we did with Munira is not going to be the same that we're going to implement with Husaina. It is going to be different. And I think accepting that, accepting both the individual as they are and not forcing them to do something, I think that is really, that's where the mindfulness and things like that started.
Hats off to you guys. It takes a lot. It really takes a lot to realize this.
Fantastic question, Mansi, and fantastic answer. I think you made the program one of the best programs we've ever had.
Thank you.
Mansi, you and the parents, one of the best programs we've ever had.
My God.
And we'd love to see this replayed, shared widely as a great, lots of lessons learned. Saina, Thank you for bringing Mansi in. And Shivani Arora, one of our team members, identified you, and you're here. I'm so glad.
Thank
Very
you, ma'am.
happy. So wonderful to heard so much, but I think your book and you, this program can go down completely to every household. But as I said, Mansi, you need to address even the corporates. You need
Yes,
to
ma'am.
address even the parents, grandparents. They all
Yes.
both have a role. And as Saina said very rightly, there are societies of friends, bad friends, or not good friends, also breaking homes, but not realizing they're breaking children. They're impacting children. Sometimes they're breaking homes, and unethical society, and which is impacting children. So somewhere you have the evil eye around too, which is, I think lots of things, social ethics, social behaviors, social choices, personal needs. I think all this is impacting children and parenting. So that's where, Mansi, maybe you'll have to extend your canvas to bring in society as a whole, but certainly what all decisions directly impacting parents, which is bad friends, having an evil eye, which is, and grandparents who feel now they've done their job. They're not. Once you are a parent, you're a parent forever, whether you're a grandparent or a parent.
Yes.
With this, I think we can conclude.
Yes,
Saina?
we can. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We thank all of you
Thank
so
you.
much. It was a very, very heartfelt one.
Very, very heartfelt.
We
Thank
could
you.
just be ourselves, we could pour our heart out. And before we conclude, a prayer for Huzaifa and Agra. May Ma bless your togetherness.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Allah be with you. Allah be with you. And I think your dua for your children is very sacred. And the glow of, I need a minute for this. I feel so much for this. Because the glow of your love and togetherness is there on both of us. It's there.
Thank
I
you.
think that's making a lot of difference.
Stay blessed. Want to
And
thank Ajay for sending you.
Rahulji, that's wonderful what you've said, that you're going to be there for your child no matter what.
Yes.
I
And
want to
Mansi,
thank Ajay. Can we want to thank Ajay for sending you, Ufeza and Arifa? Thank you, because we owe this program to the great thinking of our friend Ajay. It's his
Absolutely.
book,
Absolutely.
Mindful Parenting, his book, Mindful Parenting, and his lithologies brought us all together. So the cause is larger. So, Mansi, this is what this program is coming from.
Right.
Ajay's book, Mindful Parenting, and Rahul Nair's lithology. See, that's how it's brought us together. We'll keep
Sure.
going strong. Thank you
Mansi,
so
thank you for your journey, and thank you for all the wonderful love you're pouring, and helping so many parents and children. It's so blessed. Ma be with you. Ma be
Thank
with
you.
you. Bless
Thank you.
you.
Thank you
Bless you.
so
Bless
much.
you and Ma bless you and your family. Ma
Thank you
bless
so
you
Have a
and
good
your
night.
family. May our
Have a good
families
night.
be blessed. Thank you. Ji, Jai Dha.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.